It's fair to say that Dana Munro has not been given an easy time of it by her family since she introduced her new love interest, Bobby Beale, Clay Milner Russell, in EastEnders. The pair are clearly besotted with each other, but just as it seems like Dana has managed to quell the concerns of her dad Harvey, Ross Boatman, it turns out that it's her violent and bigoted brother Aaron, Charlie Wernham, who will be the real problem. There have been extremely concerning signs that Aaron is Islamophobic and racist, with rumors suggesting that his true colors will become more and more extreme, leading to a terrifying and hateful situation. We caught up with newcomer Barbara Smith to talk about her arrival in Walford, what Dana would do if she had to choose between Bobby and her family, and why she thinks that the couple are the real deal. How have you settled in? I'm settling in really well, but kind of slowly and surely, but now that Dana has a home and her dad and brother on the square, I feel I have settled in, properly become part of the EastEnders family and have settled in. How did you find out you got the role? I was actually at home. It was during all the lockdown restrictions. I was just back from a walk at the local park with my mum. I'd had a big meeting, my finally audition over Zoom with John Sen and a few other people, so I had to go for a walk afterwards. My agent called me when I was home and I was looking out of the window, and he said, "How do you think the meeting went?" I said, "I think it went well, but I'm not sure." He replied, "Well, you should be. You got the role." It was a case of, "What, really?" I was stunned and so excited and happy. I've never had a feeling quite like it. Do you like Dana and Bobby as a couple? They're a wonderful couple and they have a lot in common. They both love nerdy things like anime and manga and Lord of the Rings, and they spend hours talking about it. They balance each other really well and bring each other out of each other's shells. Bobby can doubt himself a lot, and Dana calms that a little bit and lets him know it's okay to be himself. He has got Dana quite interested in Islam and his faith, and she really wants to learn about that. They both have hearts of gold and they both come from a similar place, and they're really lovey-dovey people. They have the same love language, that's for sure. How does she find her place in the family? I think Dana is definitely the odd one out in the family. If there was a power ranking, Aaron would be at the top and Dana would be quite a fair bit at the bottom, and she knows she doesn't have much sway, but that doesn't stop her trying. She can be a bit embarrassed by them and their run-ins, such as her dad's "you people" comment to Ash. She despairs of her brother in general, but she does love them and will be loyal to them. That doesn't mean she won't criticize their methods. Is she hopeful that Harvey has accepted her relationship with Bobby? She kind of sees her dad as hot-headed and he needs a second to calm down. He reacts very impulsively and he stormed right in. But when he calmed down, he understands it more and is okay with it. A lot of this outrage is quite normal to Dana and it doesn't faze her as much as she is used to it, so she hopes that everyone will be okay. The fact he lets her stay at Bobby's is a big deal for him and is a good sign that he has come round. He's never let her do that before. You had a one-off role back in 2019. Did you ever suspect you'd be back at EastEnders? I had no idea. I was so excited by just having a day. I'd be hugely shocked if you told me back then I'd get to be here all the time. I had never auditioned for a full-time role before, but when it came to this, I felt more prepared and ready as I had been in the show before. How does she feel about Aaron and his views? She completely disagrees with and detests Aaron's views. She is completely at odds with him. She can't bear to be around it. It's her biggest problem with him. She knows he says these things and it has kind of become normal to her, but she would definitely describe his comments as Islamophobic and sometimes racist. He never stops with it, no matter what she says. I would say it's what causes the most problems with him, as well as his arrogance and stubbornness. How does the lunch goes? What happens? Dana brings Bobby along even though Aaron didn't want her there. She anticipates that it might not go well, and Aaron does question Bobby on his beliefs and practices in Islam. Quite a bit. To Dana, Bobby stands up to him and she feels like he has come on quite a way, and she is proud of him and her love for him deepens even further. It's also a way of her to say to her family that Bobby is here to stay. Dana would say it has gone well, but I am not too sure what everyone else would say. Aaron questions Bobby in a very intimidating way. It's more like an interrogation. Dana is used to this behavior from him and she is almost desensitized to all of this. If she had to choose between Bobby and her family, what do you think she would do? Having to pick between Bobby and her family would be an impossible choice for Dana. They are both the most important things in her life. She comes from a very old-fashioned family and so has a huge sense of loyalty and duty to them. She is head over heels in love with Bobby and can't imagine her life without him. Although there have been moments where she might have to choose, she has managed to placate both sides. Hopefully it will stay that way, but maybe it won't. If it doesn't, I can't say I know which side she will take. With her family it's been a lifelong loyalty, but she also feels so loyal to Bobby too, so we shall have to see. What is coming up in the storyline? There's quite a lot coming up. The viewers have seen that Aaron has a dark and sinister side which Dana has no idea about. She just thinks he is arrogant and says ignorant things. Whether she will see him for who he really is a big question. If she does, how will that affect the family dynamic and her relationship with Bobby? There is a lot to come up for Dana and a lot of things for her to find out and process.